Hey friends, welcome to a new cozy travel vlog in Vienna. I'm so happy to be here. I cannot believe it. This morning I was in Florence, Italy. It's just so amazing. And moreover, I'm in Vienna at the time of the Christmas markets. And believe it or not, but when I planned this trip, I didn't even think about the Christmas market. I was just thinking about the progression of all the trips I had planned over 6 months. But then I realized, Elise, you're going to Vienna at the time of the Christmas market, which you love. You love Christmas, so it's just perfect. And I'm so excited. The Airbnb I'm in is really nice. I'll give you an apartment tour tomorrow. Now it's night, as you can see. I'm a bit yellow. Not the best time, but I really wanted to make this introduction because I'm going to try my first Christmas market tonight because I have a lot planned for the next few days. I keep adding stuff that I want to do. Probably not going to be able to do everything, but I want to try to do as much as I can and enjoy all that Vienna has to offer. This also means a lot of food, probably. Let's be honest. And tonight, I want to start by going to the Schönbrunn Christmas market. So Schönbrunn is the castle where the imperial family was spending the summers for quite a while, and the Christmas market is in front of the castle. So even if I don't want to visit it, apparently it's one of the best Christmas market. It's very beautiful, decorated and everything. So yes, I want to try it, of course. And it also happened that it's the only one that's separated from all the others, so it makes sense to do it tonight by itself. And I think it's a great way to kick off this stay. Other than that, other than the Christmas markets, I also plan to visit some museum, probably one of the imperial residences, and walk around Vienna. I also have some cafes that I really want to try. So if all of that sounds good to you, if you want to discover Vienna at Christmas time with me, grab yourself a hot cup of hot chocolate because we are in Vienna. You'll see me drinking a lot of hot chocolate for sure. Get cozy and comfortable and let's go. Also, I forgot to mention it, but I have a list of foods and drinks that I want to try at the Christmas market. So many, I'm not sure I can try all of them, but I'll show you the list here. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name because I can't, but there's some sweet, some savory stuff, and I'm going to do my best to try as many that look good to me that I want to try, of course. And also in the Christmas markets here, they have mugs that you pay for at the beginning and then you keep them and you can give them back and get your money back at the end, or sometimes you can keep them, and I think it will be a nice souvenir to keep one mug from one Christmas market. I'm back from the first Christmas market and it was so great. Exactly everything you imagine when you think about a traditional Christmas market. All the food stand, like traditional food. I got my pretzel, didn't finish it at all. I got some like pancake dough crumbled with plum jam, which is apparently the traditional mix. That was really good. And I wanted to try other stuff, but I was full already, so it will be for tomorrow. I also bought a little Christmas decoration. I wanted to take them all, honestly, but I had to make a selection. And this will be a cute little souvenir. It's not big, it's not heavy, it's perfect for my travel constraints. I also got the mug. Not as good for the travel constraint. There was one with CC on it, but that's not the one I got. I still like this one with the gold inside. It's not one of the one I had marked that I could take back home though. So I need to be more strict. This, I was like, oh, it's my first market and everything. But no. I had written down 3 from 3 different markets that I really liked. And I was like, you can choose one of these 3 to bring back. It's a bad start to this rule that I put for myself. So that was a pretty great beginning of my stay in Vienna. However, tomorrow is going to be even better, I believe, because I'm going to go to the city center and to other Christmas markets. And I'm very excited to see what it looks like in daylight and everything. So I'll catch some sleep and I'll see you again tomorrow. Another day starting in Vienna, and I just arrived at the historical center, and just the building and everything around me is so beautiful. The weather is nice, so I think it's going to be a great day. I'm going to walk around a bit and then I'm going to go take a late breakfast at the Demel Cafe. Also, I wanted to mention before I forget, for the transportation, I took a 3 days pass. And it's really worth it. It was like 17 euros for 3 days in limited use. Great. Well, then I didn't find where to validate my ticket. So it's still new, but I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't see any machine to do it. Oh, wow. I have to show you. So kind of by accident, I passed by the Demel Cafe on my way walking, and I saw that there was already a lineup 30 minutes before it opened, so I decided to join, and I'm glad I did. There were so many people still behind me, so much more. But I mean, and it's so beautiful. I just love the architecture in this city and all the buildings and all the Christmas tree. The apple strudel was really good. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the hot chocolate I wanted because they didn't make it with anything else than regular milk. And I think it's going to be a struggle actually to find oat milk or soy milk or any alternative. So I hope I can still get a hot chocolate, you know? That's another challenge that I'll take. Right now we're gonna head to the first Christmas market of the day. I just got out from the exhibit on Sisi and the imperial apartment and everything. It was very interesting. I learned a lot about her. She was 15 when she got married to the emperor, who was 23 another time, and it's very disturbing how much there is an emphasis from her and from everyone on her beauty, her thinness, her hair. It was really special, and I didn't even know that she was assassinated, actually. All I remembered about her was the cartoon, so that's not much. But I'm really glad I did it. I learned a lot, and now I'm in Vauxhall Gardens. Well, they don't look like much in winter, but still. I'm gonna head to the biggest and most popular Christmas market in Vienna, so wish me luck. I hope there's not too many people. Oh.
Alone, it's Christmas, but I won't wait till next year to try and fill the distance we've had with decorations in my bag. He's taking it slow, won't work in time. It's only so long for Christmas lights. It can't be a song you sing. Sometimes I need you to sing it for your whole life. So let me be your family this Christmas, and let this be the season that you've been waiting for. Let me be your family this Christmas. Give to you myself this year, I promise I'm yours. This year you've left me wondering.
What a day. It's not late. It's like 6 p.m., but I feel like it could be 10. I didn't walk that much compared to other day, but my legs hurt. I don't know why. I'm pretty happy about how the day went. I did actually more than what I had planned, which gives me more free time tomorrow to maybe just sit at a cafe and drink some hot chocolate with oat milk, please, and read. But for today, 3 Christmas market was pretty nice. I think I was arriving to my saturation level at the end, so 3 is the maximum I can do in one day. And I guess for you too, at some point it's like enough. We keep seeing the same things. But it was fun to see the differences, especially food-wise, between the markets. And as you could see, I tried a lot of stuff and I was able to make some progress on my list. I also bought some marzipan, orange and chocolate for my dad, and some orange Lebkuchen, which is supposed to be a type of gingerbread, but it doesn't look like it at all. It's gonna be good. There's chocolate too. So these 2 were also on my list. I really liked everything I tasted today, honestly, especially the vanilla little cookies. I brought 4 or 5 to sample them. They're all sampled. They're all gone. And I wanted to go and back and buy more, but I was like, wait. Do all the Christmas markets you have on your list before deciding where you want to go back. Be reasonable-ish. I also got a new mug, and I think this one is the one I'm gonna keep. I had not seen it before on any reel or anything, but it's the cutest, I think. I love the colors and Santa with all of his helpers, and I like the shape. It's very different. I'm a big fan. That was the good surprise of the day. I had to make some adjustment on my planning because first I was supposed to go to the CC exhibit and the Imperial apartment right after the Christmas markets, but when I went to get my tickets it was like noon, and the person told me that my ticket was for an entrance at 3. It was lucky that I went early because when I went at 3 they were sold out for the day. I did not expect that, so I'm gonna take my tickets for tomorrow tonight to make sure. But anyway, that gave me 3 free hours, so I was able to see more stuff I wanted to see around the city center, and especially the National Library and the hall. That's super popular, like very baroque, which is the type of architecture you see a lot in Vienna and that I really love. Compared to the Renaissance in Florence, I really think I prefer baroque. But to get back to the hall, it was amazing. It was like Beauty and the Beast library level. And I'm so lucky actually that my schedule changed like that, because I discovered while taking my ticket for the library that tomorrow the hall is closed for a special event. So I would not have been able to go as my initial planning was suggesting on my second day, I would have been screwed. So actually it was a good thing that I had this delay to go to the CC exhibit, because I couldn't go to the National Library and take my time there. They had an exhibit on Strauss and one on the history of medicine in Vienna. It was all very interesting, and my favorite part was the interactive map of the ceiling painting that they had, explaining different elements and their symbolism. Was really, really interesting. I spent a lot of time on it, seeing them on the screen, finding them on the ceiling, looking at the explanation. I really loved that, and I think this was one of my favorite part of the day. Like, it's a dream library, honestly. The exhibit on CC was very interesting too. I learned a lot, like I told you, and the only problem was that I was stuck between a French group at the front and a Spanish group at the back, so it was a bit crowded in some rooms, but other than that, it was good, and I really didn't expect that there would be so many people again. So I don't know what Saturday is going to look like, but I'm really glad that the days I have planned more stuff are today, so Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday, because I think this weekend is going to be worse, and I only have one Christmas market on Saturday, so I think I'm avoiding too much chaos by doing that. Honestly, the one I did tonight, which is the biggest and most popular one, it was not that bad. It was not worse than any other Christmas market you could expect. At the time I went, at least. I'm not sure how it's going to look like later tonight or this weekend. So a great first day in Vienna. I'll see you again tomorrow for the second day of this trip. It's a new day in Vienna, and just look around, random street, and it's so pretty. I just got out of the Café Central, which was one of the most, if not the most recommended place I had from friends, from the internet, from everywhere. So I went for opening time, and there was already a line outside, but I went with the first batch of people, so not too bad at all. And it's quite big inside, so they really let a lot of people in. And it was really, really beautiful, like architecture-wise and everything. I did not love it as much as some people did or was wowed, but it was really nice. So I would say it's worth going, but it's not necessarily a must, for me at least. That being said, the food was really good. I got scrambled egg and salmon, a classic. Salmon and eggs always make me happy in any shape or form. And the chocolate. So the good news is that they could make it with soy milk, so I was really excited. The not so good news is that it was again some powdered chocolates, and some powdered chocolates, some powdered cacaos are good. This one was meh, and not at all what I expect from a hot chocolate from Vienna. I was expecting a lot more, so my quest continues. And right now I'm gonna go to the Current Histories Museum. There are a few paintings that I know of. I would not be able to tell you who painted them, but I know of them that I'm interested in seeing. And I thought it would be a fun activity to change a bit from all the Christmas markets. So I'm on my way there. It's not very far, 15 minutes.
Cold enough to make you shiver, but not cold enough to snow. Cold enough to know it's winter, perfect time to say our first hello. Scarves and sweaters bundled up in cotton, knowing names that wouldn't be forgotten, laughing over our own sense of humor underneath the Christmas lights that glow. I'm glad I got to know you better. We've come so far since that December. Who would have known I would have made my best friend on that night under 1,000 Christmas lights.
I really picked the best day to do the wheel. The big Ferris wheel of Vienna. There's fog everywhere. And I looked and it's going to be the same weather tomorrow, so I have to do what I can with it. And I took my ticket already. For once that I was like, oh yes, I'm going to do the Ferris wheel. I never ever do that type of attraction. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it for Vienna to see the Christmas lights and everything. Good for you, it is.
Another year went by so quickly, it's Christmas time again. And even though we both get busy, we still have time to talk for hours on end. I'm glad I got to know you better. We've come so far since that December. Who would have known I would have made my best friend on that night, under 1,000 Christmas lights, 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 like stars around you that sparkle from the trees. Glad I found you, I'm not alone.
Good morning. I didn't pick you up again yesterday because I was so tired when I got back home, and I just rot on the couch and didn't do anything special for a while, and then I had some editing to do, so that was not worth filming at all. But today is a calmer day. I don't have as much planned. I have basically one Christmas market really planned and maybe one bookshop / coffee shop I want to go and try and maybe just relax in. But that was on purpose. I tried to do as many things as I could before the weekend because I'm very scared of going outside today in the popular area and how many people will be there, especially the Christmas market. So this is why the one I'm doing, I'm gonna go in the morning, and I also actually want to go back to this one very quickly. But other than that, I'll try to find a nice place to get cozy and that's it. But I wanted to talk a bit more about what I did yesterday. First, the museum was really great. The building in itself is beautiful, and I noticed something I was a bit puzzled by. There was a line up when the museum opened at 10, which was not there when I left at around noon 30. So I don't know if it's usual that there's a line up or not in the morning, but my theory is that it was not for the museum, it was for the coffee shop in the museum, for the cafe, because when I entered I already saw there was a lineup for the cafe, and when I went to the rooms with the paintings, some of the rooms I was literally alone in them. There was no one. Then there was a few groups like with the guide, but there was not a lot of people. Everybody went in the museum to go to the cafe. That was so strange. And same thing, when I finished with the paintings and I got up, there was a spot where everybody was being an influencer. I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. But everybody was taking photos, and it seems that they came for the photo in this very specific place and not to visit the museum. And I'm like, it's 25 euros to get inside. I wouldn't do that just for a photo or to go into a cafe and pay more. But the museum in itself, if you want to see the paintings, the art is really great. I discovered I have a new passion for another painter. You know, I'm all about Van Gogh. He's my favorite, and I think he's always gonna be. But I discovered another one that I really like called Bruegel. I'll write the name because I'm not saying it right for sure. But basically, I didn't know it in advance, but there was one painting I wanted to see because I knew about it, and it was like the Babel Tower. And then I saw another one somewhere in the streets of a winter landscape. I was like, oh, I really want to see that one too. So I went for these two paintings. And because I was like, okay, if there is this style of painting, I'll probably like others in the museum. And they're actually both by this painter, the same one, Bruegel, that I discovered I really like because they had an entire room about him. They have the biggest collection of his works. I think they have 12. And he's known for painting peasant life, and he's from the 16th century, and I love what he does. There's so much detail in his paintings. Really, the more I looked at it, I spent like 20 minutes looking at the winter landscape painting, and I kept seeing more details, like the smoke from the chimneys, people in the background on the lake, like tiny details. And it was really beautiful and interesting. They really have a lot of Rubens, also not my favorite at all, but that's what they have the most of. They had some Vermeer, others I didn't know. I discovered like some beautiful still life flowers and the history behind them. That was very interesting. And one of them was by a female painter, and she did like, you could see the little, hairy part of the peach skin. You could see the shell of a snail, like bright and glittering. Like, it was so well done. I'm like, how can you do that with painting? I cannot draw for my life, And they also had a special exhibit about Michaela Wautier, and she was a forgotten painter for a while, and then they rediscovered that they had a lot of her paintings, and they made an exhibit about her, and she was very talented at a time where not a lot of women were allowed to paint, or they were supposed to only paint flowers, which she also did very beautifully in almost a gothic way. But she's most popular by her Five Senses paintings, and really she was so talented, and it was nice to see women painters put on the front row and having a special exhibit about her, because even at her time she was popular enough to paint like famous people and everything. So I mean, it really worked for her. Well, that was really interesting too. I didn't expect to spend as much time as I did in the museum, but very interesting. So I'm starting to rethink how I was seeing myself as not someone who like painting museum, because I've done 2, 3 recently, and I really like the experience. So who am I? I'm discovering more and more about myself every day. After the museum, I went to a few Christmas markets. I didn't film as much because I feel like it's being redundant and I don't want to bore you too much with the same things again and again. But a few specifics on each market. The Art Advent, like the name says, is very artistic. Like, this is the market where I saw the most unusual stands and the most like artists really promoting their work, like earrings, or there was this beautiful ceramic stand and there was a mug. I really wanted it, but I can't bring too many mugs back home. It was really unique and beautiful, and they really had a lot of things I haven't seen in any other market. So if you look for something original from here, from a local artist, that's where you should go. And then the other one in Spielberg was also interesting because it was in different streets. So small, narrow streets, and I'm not even sure I did all of them because it was hard to know. Sometimes you walk in and like, oh, there are stands in this one too. There was quite a lot of food or drink-related stands. It was nice, but not my favorite per se. It was just interesting because of how it was arranged, and it seems to be in very artistic, retro chic neighborhood of Vienna also. So these are 2 more on my list. I'll probably give you a top at the end of this video, but like I said, I'll only have 1 new one left to do today and then we're done with the Christmas market in Vienna, because I'm also going to do some in Prague, but that's another story. So that's the little wrap up from yesterday, and I realized I never show you the apartment because I was never there when it was daylight, not sunlight, because oh, speaking of sunlight, I did the Ferris wheel and there was just too much fog to see anything. So watch the weather before you take your tickets. Don't be silly like me. Anyway, let's do the little apartment tour. It's going to be very quick. And then I'm going to head out. All right. Let's go back to the entrance and then we'll progress. All right. So when you enter, you have a little hallway. This is the bathroom. I'm showing you, but it's really not the most interesting room, right? Basic bathroom. The bedroom is really nice and cozy, quite big. I was able to drop one of the books I don't want to keep here actually. And the bedding is the same way they do in Nordic countries, and I guess all this part of Europe. Each person have their own cover, but as I'm alone, I took the two for myself. Very practical washing machine, even if it takes it forever to wash something. And the masterpiece, the living room, very nice, very hygge in a way. Like, I love this lamp, big window, some art, some crooked painting. And here is the street outside. So it's a very nice apartment. That was the apartment tour, and now I'm gonna head out, like I said. And I think I'm not gonna film too much today. Well, first because I'm not doing as many things, but also because the last 2 days were quite demanding, so I'm gonna try to take today the cozy way. It's almost midnight. I'm gonna go to bed very soon, but I wanted to conclude this vlog first because tomorrow I'm leaving for Prague. And I'm so excited again, another city where I've never been and where I dream of going since I've read Daughter of Smoke and Bones a long, long time ago. But that will be for another vlog. Right now, I just wanted to wrap up the last day in Vienna. It was a lot quieter with only 2 Christmas markets. Well, only one real one, because the Schönbrunn one, I just went back for a few things. First, see if Lindt was making vegetable milk variation of hot chocolate. The answer was no. And second, to give back the mug, because I cannot carry all of them with me. So that was a very limited thing, and that's good because there were a lot more people than when I went last time. But I did see the Belvedere Christmas market. The setting around, again, was so beautiful. Every Christmas market almost has its own palace. It's crazy. And this one was a lot smaller than the other ones I went to, I think. It was the smallest. Not really my favorite in terms of food or stalls. There was nothing I had not seen in other markets. However, they had a very cute mug that I took. And that's the place you want to go if you want the super iconic boot mug. They sell it, or they can change it against this one for you if you want. But I preferred going with this version. I thought it was cuter than the boot. But that's really the only thing I would say for this market, the location and the mug. Other than that, I was not that impressed. But yeah, that's a little wrap up on the Christmas market. I'm so glad I came to Vienna at this time of the year and had the opportunity to see them. And I will keep really great memories from this stay in Vienna. I really loved it. And I discovered new things that I love, like the Bruegel painter or the Baroque architectural style. It's really fun when you travel and you kind of discover new things about your taste, I feel like. And this is really something that happened to me here. So that was pretty cool. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I feel like I could talk a lot more about everything I loved here, but I have to stop at some point. But let me know in the comment which were your favorite parts, and if you've been here, what you would recommend doing in case maybe one day I come back, in case other people watching would be interested in knowing. And if you want to see more cozy travel vlogs, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Kisses!